Welcome back to Learn SKN, and today we are going to just do a little quick run through of what CXC held today on October the 14th. I already gave the main highlight that was concerning to us. POB was down, so that's one bad thing that happened in this whole review. So what they held today was the official release of the results, the ceremony for the official release of the results. Right, so it's just a ceremony to highlight the results across the region. No specific, not really any specific country, but an aggregate across the region. And so they had some points, some key points, some points worth highlighting. And so that's what we're going to just run through here to look at some of the points that's worth highlighting. And off the bat, one of the first you can highlight here is the fact that registration, right, entries for students was down in 2021. So candidate entries down. So you see that this is for CAPE, and you saw that in previous years it was in 30,000s, and so in 2021 it sunk below 30,000, and it was about 27,000 persons who entered for the past exam cycle. It's also reflected in the subject entries that was down from previous years also. And so that's one thing that we can highlight that took place, that they showed today in this ceremony. As it relates to CSEC now, again, the trend seems to be that candidate entries has been down. Another point to note as it relates to CAPE is that absentees were significantly up. So we're talking about last year when you had the height of COVID. Yes, that's understandable. So it was 3.99, right? But now look at let me rephrase that. Last year you would expect persons to skimp out on their exams, just don't show up. But that was a COVID year, real high, the height of the COVID year. But now look at this. In 2021, absenteeism is way up. I'm talking from previous years, way up. In 2018, it was 5.5, dipped significantly in 2020, and then increased significantly in 2021. So we're just seeing that people just not showing up. So for whatever reason, they're just not showing up. And according to the CXC is that it's not about the deferment, because that did not factor into these numbers. People just register and ain't show up, right? So that is kind of problematic, and I hope this trend doesn't continue going forward. As it relates to CSEC now, look at what we're talking about. We are saying that candidate entries went down significantly. And so remember, this doesn't include deferment, because for deferment, you might have been in the number already, right? So entry went down significantly. And what happened, and even for subject entries as expected, gone down significantly. So that's a problem, right? I guess a lot of people lost faith in CXC last year. I don't know what happened, but candidate entries, subject entries are down significantly.
Likewise, similarly, I should say, as we had it for CAPE, we had a large number of absenteeism, 11.23%.
No, that's an understatement. A large amount. Yo, look at this. We're talking 11% of all the persons who registered and did not defer. 11% of them just straight up, for whatever reason, could be social, it could be economical, we do not know. Persons could have been scared, we don't know. But for whatever reason, persons just did not show up. And I'm saying here, this shouldn't happen to this degree, because there was an option to defer the exam into a next exam cycle. There was an option for that. I mean, granted that it wasn't really explained fully, in my opinion. It wasn't really fully explained how to go about doing it. So persons on the ground, teachers might have been a little confused as to how we do this deferment thing. Or maybe students were rejected. They wanted to defer, but the school told them no, they cannot. So let me know in the chat if not the chat, in the comment section, if you were one person who wanted to defer, but for whatever reason the school denied you. Let me know if that's the case, because for 11% of people just straight up blighting the exam, ghosting the exams, it is not a good sign, especially when there was the option to defer available. So that is a real troubling number, as in persons registering, just not showing up to the exam.
Absentees. Now, significant to note, however, and this is important, that for our overall deferrals, we had 1,251 subject entries, deferral for 1,251 subject entries for CAPE, and 15,179 for CSEC. Notably, for January 2022, we already have 4,179 candidates.
All right, so we can see that some persons did take advantage of the deferral process. A lot of persons, in fact, 15,000 entries into subjects deferred into a different exam cycle. January, we already have persons deferring from 2021 to January 2022. We have 4,000 right there. And for June of 2022, we have 7,700 right there. And we have some of them who are in limbo still, waiting to see what is what. Don't know what you're waiting for, but please make up your mind so that you can maintain your SBA grade that you would have done and things like that. So make up your mind and figure out whether you want to hit January or June, July. All right, so you better do that in quick order.
I think you deserve a clap there too. Yes.
All right, so we're not really going to focus on the Guyana perspective. We're looking at the region on a whole. And we're going to look at some of these subjects, the main subjects, the high entry subjects, I think I would put it as such. And they're going to show the regional performance. We're going to highlight the regional performance for some of these subjects for both CAPE and also CSEC.
Studies. We had 93% of the candidates attained grade 1 in 2021 when compared to 27% in 2022. For CAPE Communication Studies.
So for CAPE Communication Studies,
we had 93% of the candidates across the region attaining acceptable grades 1 to 5 in 2021.
So it seems as though that one gone down again, 93% across the region. 93, so it's less than what happened in previous years, as the lady stated.
1.
So we're looking at sociology now.
Approximately
Unit
90%
1.
of
Sociology, Unit 1. And so you can see that sociology returned a decent grades, a decent pass rate. Right, decent pass rate. We see 96% attained acceptable grade. That's 1 to 4, compared to regional 90%. So we're looking at, they're talking about Guyana in this case, but we're looking at regional, and we're saying that in the region it was about a 90% pass rate for sociology. So sociology, everybody killed sociology Unit 1, kill it, mash it up dead. So that was good. 90% pass rate for sociology Unit 1 across the region. Then we have law. We've seen law here. Law had a decent return also, where we had 89%, right here highlighted, 89% attained a pass between 1 and 4, 89%. So law wasn't too bad across the region, attaining 89%. Right, not too bad. That's Unit law 1 for law. Unit 2 for law, 86% across the region. So 86% of those who did it got between 1 and 4. So law Unit 2 was decent enough. Then we have integrated math across the region. We had, and oh, that's terrible though, we had 64%. 64% had a passing grade for all the entrants across the region for integrated mathematics. So maths a mash up everybody right now, we see, because if you see this, wait till you reach the CSEC section, oh boy, that's a doozy. All right, chemistry for CAPE Unit 1, decent, 91% across the region, a decent return right there. 90% across the region, so that's a decent output for chemistry Unit 1. Chemistry Unit 2, again, a decent performance, 95% across the region for Cape Unit 2 Chemistry, 95% across the region. Biology Unit 1, 90% across the region for Biology Unit 1. So you see, most of the STEM subjects going on real bad. Chemistry going on bad, biology going on bad across the region. To me, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing to see. Right? Beautiful thing to see. Then, let's move on from Unit 1 to Biology Unit 2. Again, in the 90s, 94% for biology. So big up on yourself, those who doing the STEMs. Big up yourself one time. Y'all doing good for Cape level STEM subjects. We're talking about science subjects. Really doing real well with the 90s going on there. Right, so that's not bad at all. Then we have, so that's all kind of highlighted for Cape. And for English, it shows, for CSEC, it shows a few subjects also, English being one. And we have a 74% pass rate across the region for CSEC English. I know this video coming up just before y'all could see your grades, but don't be afraid. But 74% across the region for English A. And then for English B, we have, wow, this one is not looking too decent. Literature, not looking the best. We have a 61% pass rate for literature across the region. Right, so not really looking too decent. Integrated science. You know, I always wonder why integrated science not doing so good. I always consider integrated science to be the less than science. But clearly, it's giving some people a real hard time. Because we're talking about 66% across the region for Inti science, you know. I don't know what's going on with Inti science. Because back in my day, Inti science was the laughing stock of sciences. Nobody taking on Inti. That's normally the science that the business students would do to say they get a taste of science in school. But right now, Inti real giving problems for persons across the region. Right, so that's something they'll have to look into. Why Inti gain so much licks across the region? Then we have for biology, CSEC Biology, not too bad at all. 89% across the region. 89% pass rate across the region for biology, CSEC Biology, not bad at all. STEMs again going on here. Then we have chemistry. Whoa, chemistry is bad. 63% across the region. So biology, well, I would expect it to be higher in biology because for one thing, biology tends to be more of a reading subject. Right? When I did biology, it was a more reading subject. You have to write out processes and things like that. So you read and understand and then try it back out. Whereas chemistry got a maths component to it. You got a moles component to it. You got, the Avogadro's concept, Brownian motion. You got so many constants to remember, balancing equations. So I could see why chemistry would give you some licks as it relates to biology. But nonetheless, we'll work on that. And then we have physics here. Physics, the passing rate for physics, when you consider how difficult of a subject physics is, I wouldn't really say it's too bad, but 66% across the region, that's decent enough considering the difficulty level, but okay, so STEMs are getting real licks in CSEC level, but doing so well at Cape. So I'm assuming that the cream would float to the top, and those who did well in CSEC would be the ones going on to do very well in Cape. And those who pass marginally would say, I ain't want to do no science, I got elsewhere. So that's just all I can assume based on that result. So there is the real licks right there. Mathematics. Real licks in mathematics across the region. Real trouble. Mathematics across the region, 41%. And I think you said there might have been an error in some way, shape, or form for something. So they'll correct that and bring it back to us. I think it might have been from Guyana's perspective. But for the region, licks sharing in maths, 41% pass rate for maths for CSEC. And that is indeed troublesome. That is very troublesome. English and math getting too much knockout. And the thing is, I don't know what's going on, but I thought that there was an SBA component to math that should have made it easier. But it seems as though, yeah, they might be marking that thing real hard or something, because the SBA was supposed to help, and in this case, I'm not seeing it. It's 41% across the region. Then we have EDPM, man. EDPM, everybody and the cousin and the brother do EDPM, right? So there's no shock that the pass rate is relatively high, 87. I mean, it's not up there with some of the 90s we saw for, Cape level STEMs, but 87, is not a bad pass rate for EDPM. EDPM is not bad at all, right? It's not bad at all. Then we have HSB. Now this one, again, HSB is very surprising to me. Don't know why HSB is so surprising to me. Because I thought that HSB, give me a second, let me get to that. I thought HSB is one of those NT-esque, easier sciences. You can't do the biology, they normally hand you down to the EDP, the HSB. That's how it is in my area. You can't do the biology, they give you HSB. But the passing rate for HSB is 68%. That is madness. It should be higher. HSB pass rate should be higher, especially when a lot of persons relying on HSB to be that science that takes them to the next level, right? So we need to do some work on HSB. This should not be the passing rate for HSB at all. And then our beautiful subject, principles of business. Principles of business went down big time in 2021, right? Usually short that I posted earlier relating to POB went down. Nonetheless, the passing rate 79%. Is it satisfactory? I'll say satisfactory. I wasn't really looking for that. Perhaps most persons are not aware of my channel. Maybe that's why the passing rate is 79. So, share the content, share the videos, inform the people that there's a channel out here that you can basically pass POB just by watching the channel. Put it on loop, right? Just joking, but yeah, the POB mark kind of low. But I mean, considering that so many persons enter POB, I'm not too surprised because it's in the same realm as English. Because the number of persons doing POB normally high. It's normally high relative to other subjects. Some of those science subjects, the entries are normally lower, so the percentage might seem a little, up there.
For social studies, we saw a slight decline generally for both the region as well as for Guyana. However, it was 54% for the region and 53% for Guyana.
Now that's a little troubling again. Social studies. How could the pass rate for social studies be 54% across the region? Social studies? Are you kidding me? Yo, social studies is one of those subjects that everybody, I don't even understand it. Social studies should be one of those subjects that's easily passed. But a lot of persons always say that we're underestimating social studies. So please, anybody out there, let me know if social studies is really that hard. And why is it that hard? Because I don't get why social studies that we've been doing since we're small, come up to big, is getting 54% across the region. That don't make no sense to me. I need some clarification on that one. So somebody let me know why social studies is so low. Information technology. At least we're looking good in information technology. So across the region, you had a pass rate of 89%. So Infotech stay being high, stay being on a decent level. 89% pass rate across the region for Infotech, information technology. Then we have OA, the somewhat forgotten business subject, if you want to put it like that. But OA, a lot of persons do OA, so the performance across the region for OA was 79%, not bad at all. Considering the numbers that do OA, not a bad return. So OA, a little decent, 79% pass rate across the region. But those are some of the key highlights as it relates to results from today's results ceremony. So we're not going to go into any of the issues that they dealt with. They don't really matter to us. CXC work on the CXC. They do their own thing internally. We care about our results. And so, we might get some querying going on and stuff like that. Alright, so that's it for this video. Just highlighting some of the few highlights from today's ceremony. Tomorrow is the big day, October 15th. Big day for a lot of us across the region, students. So let me know how it goes. If you mash up the POB, just send me a message on one of the videos. Maybe in this video, send a message, say you kill it, grade 1 all the way. That's what we want to hear, right? All right, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. See you on the next one. Good luck. Hope all y'all kill the POB.